Greetings, Culturians, and welcome back to the channel. Of course, today we live in a world where we don't trust the news media. Not at all. Not on either side. It doesn't matter if there's an R next to the name or a D next to the name. We just don't trust them. We understand that news organizations pivot their news around what their audience would be, and that one is actually as big as the other two. When it comes to cable news specifically, you have CNN, MS Now, and of course, Fox News. Those are the three big champions of, well, telling you something that they want you to believe is the truth. But because none of them really feel like it, we don't seem to support it all that much. And recently, that's shown up in the ratings. So stick around, because here we go. Now, before we get started, just a real quick reminder, I'm trying to get to 50K. I can do that with your kind support. Double check you're still subscribed with that little button down there. And then hit the bell icon. Make sure all your notifications are turned on. After that, thumbs up helps out. And any comment you want to make on this, I'm going to say, please do. Because we aren't talking honestly about why people don't trust the news. It's neither side of the equation being particularly trustworthy. And when it comes to news, I think we have bigger problems than anybody wants to talk about. Now, this is the headline coming from TV Insider. CNN, MS Now, and Fox News ratings show wild swings. Well, yeah, as opposed to 1 year ago, these numbers seem to be down. Let's take a look at them. The key takeaways, of course, are cable news ratings for CNN, MS Now, and Fox News are down compared to the same week last year. And this defeats a lot of other arguments that like to say, well, news is seasonal or there's nothing political going on right now. Have you not seen all the Supreme Court decisions being made? Maybe not. I don't know. But what I do know is that's not really a true talking point. You're seeing a lot of maybe soccer viewership over on FS1. Maybe it's the World Cup, but that doesn't make a lot of sense because those two audiences might be vastly different than each other. Now, Fox News had the highest primetime viewership with 2.2 million total viewers and about 202,000 in the key demo of the 25 to 54 range, which I just exited thanks to being retired now. But PMS Now and the Communist News Network also saw fluctuations in their viewership numbers. We'll talk about those numbers specifically in a minute. Now, when comparing current ratings to last year, Fox News is down significantly in both total viewers and key demo viewership, but MS Now and CNN have both experienced substantial declines as well. And again, year over year, there shouldn't be that much fluctuation. There may be lack of participation, or people are just finding this type of news less valuable. They're looking at independent creators. They're looking at people like me. They're looking at Critical Drinker. They're looking at Neurotic. They're looking at WDW Pro. And of course, that Park Place. They're looking for individuals who are going to have a, well, common sense conversation about what it is that we're all suffering underneath. Now, the news ratings for the week of June 15th, so just like 2 weeks ago, those numbers are showing that CNN, MS Now, and Fox are mostly down big time since this last week, last year, which, you know, like I said, fluctuations are going to be there, but this much, I don't know. A lot of people want to point to the World Cup matches. In fact, that's an argument being used in this article, which I'm just going to skip because that's specious. It's nonsense. It's not rational. And we want to talk about things rationally here. So during prime time, Fox News averaged 2.273 million total viewers, 202,000 in the key demo. That's a lot. That's a decent chunk. That's more than anybody else is getting right now, comparatively, compared to the total audience. And that's also quite telling. So compared to 1 week prior, the network is up 1% in total viewers and 2% in the demo. MS Now brought in an average of 1.068 million. Notice how they have to get down to the third digit there because it's so, well, terrifying how small their audience is. But those primetime viewers are, you know, the ones that you count on. That's when you sell your commercial time. And they only have 88,000 in the key demo. That's the people with money that still are spending money in their daily lives. And that's up 8% in total viewers and down 18% in demo viewers compared to the previous week. Which does mean there are people spending their time doing other things other than watching the news. CNN, of course, is the worst of the three, averaging a primetime total viewership of only 642,000 and 95,000 in the 25 to 54 demo. Oof. That put them up 5% in total viewers and down 4% in key demo compared to the week of June 8th. And again, we're using comparisons from week to week and year over year. Year over year is the one they should be more worried about because they're losing more total viewers. But hey, that's just my opinion. And when it comes to my opinion, let me just share this. I don't think any of these guys are telling the truth 100% of the time. I don't think they're really very caring when it comes to giving you the facts and information. I think they're more about selling individual narratives, and I think that's bad on both sides. I think responsibility needs to return to journalism, which is why I was so hyped about what they were trying to do over at CBS and so very disappointed when it didn't seem to materialize in their primetime news programming. But maybe that'll change. Maybe Barry Weiss's presence over at CNN in the very near future will change it. We'll have to see if the deal actually completes on time, which it looks like it could, despite the Europeans wanting to hold it up. I think we're about there. Anyway, jumping back to the story, Fox's total day viewing averaged 1.4 million. That's a lot. Total viewers 130,000 in the demo. That was down 7 to 11% respectively from the prior week. Total day viewership at MS Now averaged 655,000 viewers. Oh my goodness. Wow, less than half, and only 56,000 in the demo. Yikes sauce. That's up 3% and down 13% respectively from June 8th. Now, for total day at CNN, the average was 456,000 total, which is also not a really good number, and 59,000 in the key demo. That's better than MS Now. Compared to the previous week, the network was up 2% in total viewers and down 11% in the key demo for the total day. So it looks like CNN might have a solution for a problem that MS Now just can't solve, which is people in the demo being interested in their narrative or the truth they're telling or anything else. The problem is MS Now is largely now discarded in most people's minds as they've been devalued and dropped off a cliff into a media vacuum called Versant, which was because Comcast Universal realized there was a massive disparity in earnings versus costs between the successful networks and the ones that weren't so much. But compared to the same time period 1 year ago, Fox News is down 34% in viewers and down 57% in demo viewership for primetime, down 30% in total viewers and 51% for the demo in the total day. MS Now is down 1% in primetime viewers and 25% in the key demo in primetime, compared this week directly to a year ago. However, the network saw about 3% gain in total day viewers, while also dropping 18% in the total day demo viewers. This is continuing to be telling. Fewer people are engaging, especially in the demo, because, well, they just can't be bothered. In comparison to last year, CNN was also down. That's hard to imagine. It's so low now, but down 23% in total viewers and 54% in the demo for primetime. And then you had 15% total day and viewers, in the demo, down 47%. Also awful. Look, nobody's watching news anymore, and you honestly can't blame them. There's nothing that you're getting that you don't get out of X, which is the #1 news location for everybody around the globe. I know that's hard to believe, but it's the truth. And you're going to start to see even more of that as Starlink continues to expand. There becomes opportunities to replace your cell service with Starlink and many other features in your life with, some unified platform such as X, which I think not only was the ultimate goal as was originally stated by Musk, but I think is inevitable at this point. I feel much like Thanos, this is all inevitable, just as he was. Now, there's 10 comments here. We're not going to go through them all, but we are going to take a look at them very quickly. Steve starts with loss of credibility and truthful news reporting is illustrated by the ratings. Fox has 3 times the total daytime viewers. Wake up and get back to professionalism, journalism, news reporting. And you know what? It's hard to argue with that. Larry follows up with, a brain dead take, I think. Networks are down due to the people on vacation. Doesn't take a brain surgeon to figure that out. Well, it might have. You might have thought about just response a little bit more, because reporting year over year losses is directly counter your argument. There were people on vacation last year too. So try again, Larry. Jamie B says CNN is bad and the worst is MS Now. They would be great in China or Russia. And again, and while I may share that opinion, I think that unfortunately the narratives are what make people feel that way about CNN and MS Now. Mike says nothing is what news, what they broadcast. I agree with that. It was awkwardly worded, but thank you for that, Mike. And then Fire Chieftain takes the complete polar opposite side of the conversation, saying, wouldn't watch farce news if you paid me. Farce is one of the mouthpieces for Trump propaganda. Yuri Bezmenov says, good, let your anger grow and take over your soul. Close your mind further and let Trump live rent-free in your head. The TDS is strong with you. And while, that's kind of funny and most likely accurate, I think it speaks to one big problem. We don't have a shared culture anymore, or shared belief that people are actually going to tell us the truth when they should be. And then John follows up with, just like DCNN and DMS Now are the mouthpiece for the leftist propaganda. See how that works both ways, and I think that's probably accurate. Now, I've been covering media trust on my channel for, the entire time I've had a channel in the last 6 years. And nothing feels right about what we're hearing because it doesn't reflect the truth. And it's not my truth, your truth, it's the actual truth. And putting those words in front of truth doesn't change it. You either have the truth or you don't. And we need the truth. We need facts, figures, accurate information. We need accurate reporting. And if you make a mistake, we need you to report that too. And that needs to be as big a headline as when you originally reported the story, with as much emphasis as you can lend to it, if not more. I think that's the only way we're going to get back to people having, a little bit of trust in the news media. Because, again, 20% or less news trust by one side of the equation or the other, that's not good. It's not good for humanity. It's certainly not good here in the United States. But hey, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Do you think that these news ratings are telling? Do you think that they aren't? Do you think it is the World Cup that's affecting these ratings collapse? Do you think that maybe, just maybe, we need somebody to tell us the truth, to deliver us facts and information with no spin? Look, my feelings on this are well known. I'm not going to trust any mainstream outlet. I'm more likely to trust what I see on X and what other people report. And X is especially good because of community notes. And I would say participate in community notes if you can, because you can help the right information get out and the wrong reporting be, cast into doubt and have the light cast on the people who are trying to sell you a fake narrative. Anyway, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments section down below. As always, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, see ya. Just hopefully watching good news.